Alright, let's get this show on the road. Where are we here today? Good morning. John, how you doing there, sir? How's Tennessee? Still alive? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ain't we all got fun? Ain't we all got fun? Okay, something a little bit different today. Something has come up. Something has come up. Something has come up. What you probably expected to see this morning was continuing our cat block carving. We've done the river and the sky, and the next will be some of the gradation blocks. That's going to get postponed. I'm sorry. It's the octopus is postponed because of the cat, and the cat is now going to get postponed because of something else. What I need to do today is, let's get this off here. It's probably the last thing you're going to expect to see here today. We're going to carve something on here. And what this is many of you have seen this. John has seen this. John over there has touched this. He knows what I'm about to do here. This is the yellow block for what we call the microwave. And it is dead, 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 dead. It's the print party block. And over the past few months, the print parties we've been doing, a number of people have been disappointed. They've made their print and they see the yellow doesn't fit inside the lines, and they think they've made a mistake. But no, the block is worn out. So what I'm going to do this morning, I have taken a transfer sheet from the key block. I'm going to paste it down on the back side of this, and we're going to carve this morning a new yellow block for the print party. Why am I doing this now? The shop is closed, the print parties are closed. It'll be months before we do another print party. Years before we do another print party. We'll never do another print party. I have no idea the way it's going to go. Why am I doing this? Because we need the print party blocks for the microwave for another project that's coming up early next week. More about that later. So I need to be able to make nice prints from this set of blocks. And this yellow one wore out. Someone's asking quicker than expected. I can't say quicker than expected. The yellow blocks and brown blocks always seem to wear out quicker than the other ones. And scientifically, I don't know. It must be the particular pigments are more abrasive. The blue block, the key block here, is doing really, really, really well. So Prussian blue, when you look at it down at the microscopic level, must be not so abrasive when you rub it across the block. But the pigment that we're using for the yellow, it's kind of it's an Odo type pigment, a kind of earth pigment. There must be something inside there that is really strongly abrasive. And what we're doing when we're rubbing the brush around, the pigment must be actually abrading the wood. It's nothing to do with the barren when you press the back of it. Anyway, long story short, this yellow block is totally, and I mean totally, these are rounded, worn out. So this morning's job is simply this. I've taken the key block transfer, and I now have to identify the yellow places, paste it down, and start carving. And I printed from the yellow block, but it's too light, I can't quite see it. And of course, there's absolutely no need here to be microscopically exact. We just need something close. So from now on, out in the world, there are going to be two versions of our microwave, the early first edition and the later edition. The printer's working upstairs. There's 4 of them working upstairs. The way they've done it is this. There's 5 of them up there. Excuse me, I'm going to die. Ishikawa-san is decided to come as normal. What she does is she switched her shifts. She came this morning at 6 o'clock. I was still in bed. I heard her tiptoeing up the stairs. So she comes while the trains are on steady. And she's going to work upstairs all day and go home in the mid-afternoon. Dei-chan has done the same thing. She lives nearby, so they walk over, so she's not worried about the trains. She'll be working upstairs here too. She doesn't want to be bothered to take all her gear home. Who else is there? Ayumi-san. She lives quite nearby. She comes on the bus and she doesn't mind it. So she's off today, but she will be working up there too. 3 of them. The fourth one, Kawai-san, he's been doing the print parties. He's now a full-time printer. He's going to finish his current job, and then he wants to move his bench home and work from home. He lives a little bit out in the countryside, out in Chiba, and he really doesn't want to muck with the trains. So he's thinking he will retire to the country for a while and print. And I know what he's thinking. And I know exactly what he's going to do. Next month, 2 months, 6 months from now, when we say, okay, Kawai-san, we're going to start up parties, he's going to say, sorry, Dave, I'm now a printer. So we've probably seen the last of Kawai-san in the party room. Then the fifth one, Sugi-san, it seems that she has quit. And I don't know, she handed in her print, what was this, Thursday? Monday afternoon, she brought back her stack of finished prints for the fourth month and said, so, and thanks, we're all efficient. Except she didn't say thanks. Whatever, anyway. So let's get this tied up here. And maybe I should use that. Let's see. I think we've got it all lined up. This on, this on, this on, this on, this on. Let's paste it down and get going. What's wrong with the Street View camera last stream? One of the cables was no good. It turns out that the cable, the HDMI extender cable, the thin one that I had that ran from the camera to the extension cord, that was kaput. I must have stepped on it or something. So I bought a new cable that same morning. After the stream was over, I bought a new cable that same morning. And we now have a new big, fat, heavy industrial type cable snaking across the floor here. Also this morning, the angle's wrong. We're early in the morning here. As it gets to this season, spring and summer, I can't put the camera facing the other way because the sunshine comes right straight into the lens. So we've put it the other way around this morning. The shop is closed. The shop is closed. I don't know, did you not see Facebook? I don't know, the shop is closed. I don't know, we're done. I can't keep it open anymore. Why a print party block repair without any print party? So that's what I sort of hinted up in the morning. I really don't actually want to say too much about this right now. I'm sorry to play games with this, but we have a real strong need for this block next week. Although print parties are closed, who knows, permanently. I don't know. Maybe if I tease you a little bit. I don't really want to talk about this until next week. But we have a few things here. We have, John Becker will remember this because I sent him a copy of this a while ago. It's the Asakusa Station area map and a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Tokyo subway map in English. Really, really nice thing. We have some assorted Asakusa maps here. We have some pamphlets about things to do in Japan. We have, this is really cool. I want these for myself. We have some walking maps, guide of the Yanaka area, the Asakusa area, the Minami Senju area, the Toneri liner, that's really good, and the Toden Arakawa-sen. We have a bunch of walking guide maps here. And we have, let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, we've got the new, yet to be published guide, Dave's Choice Guide to the Restaurants in Asakusa. We have an Asakusa care package in preparation. Oh, 67 things to do in Asakusa. Soka. If you can't come to Japan, Japan can come to you. We'll talk about this next week. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's get going on this. We have a split in this block, so we've got to make sure we don't hit that split. Oh, dangerous. No, nothing else in this area is closed. The theater is open. Everything's open. The shopping's open. Everything's open. I cannot bear this. There's an Italy bearing down on us, and the people here just don't seem to understand what's happening. So we have closed our shop, and the other merchants here think, like, Dave, you're crazy. There's still lots of people here. Yeah, there's still a lot of people here. So we're closed. For how long, I have no idea. I'll be posting about it later. Kevin and I are going to prepare a little sort of financial statement thing that goes up. Last year, or the last full year here, the Asakusa business generated 43% of our overall income last year. And now that we're closed, of course, this is still early in the year. We've had our two smallest months, January, February. March was supposed to be spectacular. So this year, Asakusa will not be 43% of our income. This year, Asakusa will be whatever, 5%, 10% of our income. So we're going to have to think of other things to do. Of course, we have subscriptions, online sales. You said you missed seeing Cameron on streams. I think he's watching this one, you know. I think he's here. He's at home. I was chatting with him on email about just a few minutes before opening the stream here. So he's sitting at his computer. Is he going to say hello? I don't know. I think when he's at home, he doesn't want to, you know, whatever. What is Cameron's handle when he's not chat? I don't know. It's up to him. He wants to be open, or he wants to be a ninja. No idea. It's his call. I can't. No comment. Maybe he's not here. Who knows? Or maybe he is here. But whatever. That's kind of a good. What handle would Cameron use? He probably called himself the real David Bull. someone's probably going to take that handle now that I've mentioned it. Someone's probably going to take it. Oop, too much. Oop, 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 too much. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get this out of here. Show the label on the go. Hang on, one sec. Let me do the job first. Hang on. I'll go with my fingers here. You're what? It's called Arabic Yamato. Arabic Yamato. Yamato is what we call for Yamato glue, nori, just normal glue in Japanese. And Arabic is, of course, from gum, Arabic. It's mucilage. It's like that stuff we had in school. You know, the thing with the nozzle, the angled nozzle at the top, the rubber nozzle. It's glue that's just like that. School mucilage. It's not really strong, but it's strong enough for this job. What are you laughing at? Did I do something wrong? Big to grab all at once. Here we go. Oi, 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 oi. Look at this. Can I grab it all at once? Shaboom. Okay. The weather is nice outside. The weather is very, very, very nice outside. And you can see the sunshine problem. The sun is coming from the right-hand side out there, and it would be right in the lens of the camera if I put the camera on the normal way. Okay, again, we're carving another yellow block for our microwave print because we're going to be putting this thing into heavy use next week. Even though we have no price, we have a special project that is going to use this. So we want to send out nice looking prints. So we're making a replacement block. For those of you who just tuned in, this is the yellow block for our microwave print, and it is hugely, hugely. Can we zoom in and see this? Because this is actually kind of cool. It's just round. It should be a sharp edge, and it's now just gone completely round. And the problem with this is in a zone like this, for example, where the yellow goes inside a specific area, because it's round, the printable area has shrunk and shrunk. So when you look at a finished print, you see the outlines, and the color inside doesn't fill the outlines anymore. And people are thinking that they have misregistered the print, but it's not. It's that the block has worn out. So we're going to do a quick and dirty job here. We're going to cut a new yellow block for our microwave design. A tiny bit of orange. Yeah, at the very top left corner of your video, that's the Don Quixote store. You can see part of the front tower and the writing up there at the top. I can barely see it. It says Don Quixote. If I, just for a minute here, we could pop it up, I guess. Let's see, where are we? Get to here. Let's pop it up just for a second. Get my mug out of the way. So there's the street. Down the far left side, I know the plastic at the left is the oyster shack next door. It's their patio. And way at the bottom it says Don Quixote. And we've got one of the famous actors here. And what else is interesting on the street down there? Probably not, right in the middle above those garbage cans is a blue awning, and you'll see a certain type of animal's shape on the blue awning. That is Tokyo's most famous whale restaurant. It's called Hoge Sen. It's the name of the restaurant. Hoge Sen means whaling ship. Sen is boat. So it's a whaler. This would be the name of this place, a whaler. Not my favorite restaurant, and it doesn't appear on Dave's choice list of restaurants in Asakusa. I wonder why. I've never been in. He wants me to go in. He keeps saying, free dinner, come on in, come on in, come on in. But there's no way I'm going in there. He's got a camera ready behind the counter. Whenever he gets sort of people that are semi-little famous or whatever, or really famous in there, he takes a picture and throws it up on his wall. And there's no way I want my picture on his wall of fame. Shame. Okay. Have the number of print parties gone down? Print parties are history. Print parties are history. Our shop is closed. The print parties closed 2 weeks ago, and the shop closed earlier this week. We are done. We are now an online business only for the foreseeable future. This is simply common sense. Okay, let's have a go. And again, for those of you who don't really know what's going on here, the key block is transferred here. The block we want to make is a yellow color block. So areas that we want to print yellow, for example the sky, we will leave those behind. Other areas, my fingers here, this will be taken away. So this area will be left behind, this area will be taken away. So first step is to outline with my knife, to cut the outside edge of all areas that will be left behind. This is relief printmaking in multicolors. So step one, cut the outside shapes. Most of it's done with direct transfer from the key block. The line you see here is transferred from the key block. That gives us the information there. This line I drew by hand because that information is not on the key block. shop is closed for good. The shop is closed until the health situation, whatever. I really don't know what's going to happen. Of course, we cannot keep it open when there's such a risk of spreading the virus at the moment. So of course, so the shop is closed for two things: to protect my staff from the virus, and also to make sure we're not one of the places that is spreading the virus. My own personal guesstimate on how long this is going to take is I don't know, of course. Once we get a vaccine, and I'm sure there's a bajillion people working on a vaccine, they all want a Nobel Prize. Once the vaccine is here, then of course society will be able to stabilize. So no, it's not that we've stopped making parties because I don't want to do them. It's and personally, I'm quite disturbed with the situation in Tokyo. People seem to believe that nothing can happen here. And last night I went out to pick up my dinner at the supermarket, and the town was jammed. The bars are bopping, the theater's busy down the street here. What should happen is a bunch of people in Italy should make a video or something and say, "Hey, Japan, I think the general mood in Japan about this thing is that we actually had this virus here quite early on, quite a while ago. When it first came over from China, we had that cruise ship and stuff like that. So partly the mood here is that we got this thing, we're okay. We're such a country with masks and clean and all that stuff that we're not going to be one of those contagion countries like, those Italians or whatever. That's the sort of the general mood, I think. I don't really know. It's hard to say. Then your cynical viewpoint is that the government is trying to keep the numbers low because of the Olympics thing. They still will not let go of the Olympics. And I would imagine that's because of insurance. If somebody makes the decision and says, okay, we're going to not hold the Olympics, then they're going to try and get the insurance. And the insurance company is going to say, sorry you guys, that was your personal choice not to do this. Insurance policies and stuff cover acts of God and whatever, but if you choose not to do the Olympics, that's your problem. So my guess, and I'm not an insurance specialist here, but that might be something like that. The IOC can't cancel it because then they won't get insurance coverage. But if, for example, there's no more airplanes flying, the IOC can say, we were forced to cancel Olympics because of that, so please give us insurance. Maybe it's something like this, I don't know. Nobody can be the first one to call the cancellation. If somebody else has canceled and you're just following, then you're going to get your insurance, maybe. It's perhaps something as simple as that. No one's allowed to be the first guy at the end of the line. I should follow a little bit here. Zoom, please. Yeah, but if I zoom, I can zoom, but the more I zoom here, if I'm doing freestyle, the more I'm going to find myself wandering out of the cut area. But okay, let's try this. When we zoom under the microscope, it's easy because the cut area always stays in the same place, right under the lens. But if I zoom when I'm cutting freehand like this, anyway, we'll try it. The microwave here, of course, it's a Hokusai original, and one of our girls here, Kaori-san, Seki Kaori-san, she adapted it for me. She's the girl who did our Momotaro print a few years ago, the Peach Boy print that we had in our print parties. Seki-san designed that for us. And when it came time to retire those and to do this other print, I asked her to make an adaptation of it for me. I gave her some rules. We needed the oval, we needed a minimum line thickness, XXY, that sort of stuff. So I gave her some outlines, and she adapted it for me. And we paid her a royalty. In fact, she's been getting a royalty, 5% of our print party revenues, all the way along. First for the Momotaro print, and then for this microwave print. So her income is going to drop the next few months as we don't have print parties. Do we still work with Jed, J-E-D, Jed Henry? Yes, of course we do. He designs all our current subscription prints. Oh, also that reminds me, speaking about Jed, I think perhaps he's got his website ready. Remember last week we talked about the sushi cats? Oh, nice one. Where are we? We'll interrupt this program. We interrupt this program. This is now ready. We talked about this last week. This is the Sushi Cats print from Chiharu-san, our printer in Nagano. She turned it in a couple weeks ago. They are now in Jed's hands. They're in Jed's hands. We've seen the tracking number. We sent them over last week. Jed has these. He is now, as we speak, Jed is signing, putting his seal on these. They are going to be on his website seconds from now. Here's the Sushi Cats. It's absolutely a fabulous production. I keep saying the same thing. It's to die for. There's the Sushi Cats print. It's beautifully done. It's so beautifully printed. Look at this. The sizing was perfect. That's my only part on this. Not on Jed's site yet. Jed-san, get busy! He's got the prints. Like he's got nothing else to do or something. Anyway, there it is, up and running. And we have test printing this week on Ramen Cats and Hanami Cats. So all three of these cats will very shortly be available. All three. After years of procrastination by me, not procrastination, just years of busyness, they are now finally coming into production. Also, other news. You know the Ginza in Rain print we did? We had up as of last October, the laser cut key block stuff. The next one, the Nihonbashi print, is ready on the 22nd, Sunday afternoon, and they're bringing it over here. I will scan, I'm dying. I will scan it Sunday afternoon, and as of Monday morning, that print will be up on our website. I'll show it and tell here. Monday morning show and tell will be the new Nihonbashi print from, what do they call themselves? Miyakodori Publishing. There's so much going on right now. Yeah, Jed's got the Jiklai print on his website. This is the woodblock version. Could you convince me to perform a rerun of the Kuchie print of A Lady in the Flower? No, but as of a week ago, we were teed up for it. The paper was moistened, the paper was pressed, the blocks were ready on Suga-san's desk. That's now been shelved again. I know many people want that print, many people would like it, but my own desk, I'm sorry, there are just far too many other jobs on my desk. I was chatting by email yesterday with an long-term collector friend who ordered a bunch of prints online the other day, and I was writing a short note to say thank you. And he said, well, now that your shop is closed, of course, you have lots of free time. You can get back to work on your Arts of Japan series that they're waiting for. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Okay, there's the sky cut. Now we've got the yellow also on some boats here. Yes, but just a minute. Awesome news. This was Suga-san, who has now left us, so whatever. It's funny, the conversation, I shouldn't talk too much about it in public. You know, the conversation, people in Japanese, they never say bad news straight out. So nobody says, I quit. They just say, I'd like to not be here. For how long? I'm not quite sure, for a while. I'd like to not be here. Which phone? Phone number 1, phone number 2. Excuse me just a minute. Oh, it's okay, I know what that is. Hi, hi. Cameron-san must be online. He's paying bills, and my bank is warning me somebody is in your account. Somebody indeed is in my account. It's Cameron. Hey, are you insulting my phone? My phone is a phone. People phone me, and it gets emails from the bank. And that's the only 2 functions I want from that thing. And the phone number is top secret, of course. The staff knows it, but they also know only use it in, like, if you're dying or something. I'm cutting this thing, and we've talked about this before. Where do you cut on these lines? And normally we sort of cut right in the middle of the line stuff. I am now cutting fat. I'm cutting right to the outside edge of this thing because I want this block to have as much life as possible. And given that we know what's going to happen with this over the next whatever time period. So I'm cutting wide on these. Maybe even the yellow will poke out a little bit. I don't care. We'll get an extra few days, weeks, months of life out of it. If I cut narrow here, it'll just wear out even more quickly. This phone needs recharging once a week or so, I guess. I don't really know. Let's have a look. I don't even remember when I last charged it. Full charge. It's okay. I mean, I never use it. It just sits there. It just sits there waiting for stuff that almost never happens. This block wearing out is because amateurs are more rough with the blocks. It's partly it, you know, too. I know when we're doing the print parties, we first practice people with rubbing with the Baron, and we try and show them how hard to press. Then the next step, we show them how to use the brushes, and we try and tell them. We tell them all the time, softly, 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 and people do, but. And the other thing that happens with our print parties is, whatever, there's a print party at 10 o'clock something. We finish it, we have a break for lunch. Next party's at 1 o'clock. By then the brushes become hard. The pigment in the brushes sort of hardens up. So then we moisten with water, we rub again. So it's quite often, it's hard bristles with concrete pigment, which is rubbing on the blocks. A professional printer, the blocks are always soft, soft, soft. It's always moist, ready to go. And once the block has become, not brushed in good condition, you wash it. But the print bodies, it's just get along with it, get along with it, get along with it. So the pigments are abrasive, the brushes are hard, the people press too hard. It's a number of things. It's sort of a perfect storm for wearing out the block a bit harder. It's no big deal, whatever. We just recut it. When this key block is gone, and that'll be a year or so from now, then we'll retire this and use another design. But we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of printings of this, We're not talking about hundreds here, we're talking about many, many thousands. The Peach Boy print, I forget the number, we tried to estimate it. And it was, I don't know, 10,000 or something. Wood blocks are tough. Zoom like a zoom, but we know what's going to happen. I'm going to spend half my time off camera if I zoom. Is there any news on those big cherry logs we bought? The logs that were outside up until last week are now up on the roof here. Last Monday we rented a truck, and Aoyama-san and the gang and I loaded them into the truck. He took them over to Kiba, the lumber yard area. And we didn't slice them into 5mm slices. You can't do that with a wet piece of wood. This was step one. We sliced them into about 10cm slabs. The benefit of that is two. One is that they start to dry out. And you can't slice them into tiny strips because they dry out too quickly. So they're in 10cm slabs. They're not going to dry out. It means they're now light enough. 4 of us could actually get them upstairs. So we built a little room upstairs, protected from the sunshine, and lots of air. And those blocks are now those slabs are now going to dry up there for 2 years, I guess. Not really sure. Hard to tell. After about 2 years, when they look dry enough, we will then haul them back to the lumber yard, have them sliced into 5mm strips, and then use a couple of them for testing. So the front porch of the shop is now empty. The logs are gone from the front porch of the shop. Hope your staff are doing well. I wonder what the best way to support your business right now. We've lost 43% of our business. The shop is dead for a while. We still have online sales. The printers are still working. And our main business is still subscription prints. This is obviously going to change. Over in North America and Europe, things are not doing very well. The global economy is obviously about to tank. So we understand and expect that a number of people who are subscribing will not be able to continue, or new people will not pick up subscriptions. So our business will shrink now over the course of the next year. We actually haven't really laid anybody off yet. The print party staff, Kawai-san, Shiba-san, they are now getting busy printing. I mean, that's why we hired people to do print parties who know what they're doing. Yamada-kun, he was doing print party helping. He's coming in tomorrow. He's going to help me with the accounting. So we're trying to pick him up to do some accounting work instead of print party work. Who else is gone? Nakamura-san, she's kind of been laid off. She was doing 1 day a week. She has her own graphics design business. And we've asked her to do more work here. And she says, no, I want to keep my own business running. So when I told her we're closing the shop, she's going to lose her 1 day a week. She says, no problem. I said, you want some graphic design work? She says, no, I'm full, nothing to do. So we haven't actually cut and laid anybody off at the moment. It may happen. As subscriptions shrink and shrink and shrink, we may have to cut back on stuff here. But at the moment, whatever. The best way to support our work, if you like us, is just, whatever, the online shop is there, or keep watching the streams and just be friendly. At the moment, we're not in a panic. We have savings to last for, if revenue dropped to 0 today, and I kept all the staff on board, we could keep them for 3 or 4 months. And then we would, of course, have to let everybody go if revenue was 0. But other than that, we have we've done this on purpose. I didn't plan about this virus, of course. I'm not that kind of a foreseer. But we did plan that the shop could have to close because of earthquake. We know there's a high possibility of an earthquake coming to Tokyo. So our business model has been, if the earthquake comes, if the shop closes, no tourists come, we still have the online business, which is run from Ome out of town, and we have subscriptions. The printers can work from anywhere. And that's the business plan that we have now booted up. And we didn't think it was from a virus. We thought it would be from an earthquake, but we've had a plan in place for this. We didn't build a woodshed on the roof. It's the thing, where the stairs come up. I don't know if you were up there, Karen, at all. The stairs come up, there's a little bit of a room at the top of the stairs. And it's now full of wood, and we've left the door open, and we've put wind blowing through and sheltered it from the sun. And the blocks are going to air out up there on the roof. Torrefaction, yes, that's the word I couldn't remember yesterday. And it seems interesting for aging wood, but it takes the guts away. The wood is left extremely light and with no density. And that's exactly the opposite of what we need. So I haven't even bothered actually to move ahead with it. Once I learned more about it, I thought that's probably not what we need. Vivid K, I want to see pictures. But then write to Cameron or whatever. I'm whatever. Write to Aoyama-san. He's the one who did it. He can take some pictures. And I've got to pretend to work here. What time is it? 8:48. Has Cameron showed up, by the way? Cameron usually comes at about this time, right? 8:50 or so. He usually comes in the door. Maybe he's going to come in the virtual door. Who knows? Whatever, people saying up my Patreon level. I know, again, I really don't. I want to be careful with this. We appreciate the support that people are giving us. At the moment, I'm worried about everybody's job. I mean, if your job is secure, then fine. Think about getting some prints, thank you. The big order I got yesterday, when I wrote back to the person saying thank you, I said, actually, are you guys okay? And yes, he works for a major corporation, and he said, I'm fine, and I'd like to keep going on this. So, but what I'm afraid of is asking people for support. They run something from their credit card. This is not the time to get into debt. So we appreciate the business. We are not in any danger right now. We are going to shrink slowly over the next year and see how it goes. I'm really absolutely more worried about the global economy at the moment than I am about our specific personal little business area. He's thinking this will be a year-long process. No, I don't know, aren't you? I know, I'm no guru here. I really don't know, but did you see the numbers of deaths from Italy yesterday? What was it? 350 people my age, died yesterday in Italy from this thing because they didn't get a handle on this early enough. And America could be. I don't know. I'm not scaremongering here. I'm just looking at the numbers and trying to figure out what's going on and what to do. It kind of looks like America's in the same position that Italy was like a month ago or so. I don't know. Can I talk about this without sounding like a Cassandra? I don't know. Deaths in Japan so far next to nothing. I think it's 29, I think I saw last night. And this is really, really, really a curious thing for me. This is the biggest question mark for me on this whole thing. The Japanese numbers are still extremely low. I mean, we were one of the earliest places to get it. It came out of China onto that cruise boat. After they decided to empty the cruise boat, the people and crew got off, went on the trains and went around Tokyo and went home. So Japan has had some early exposure to this, and there are a couple of hotspots here. There was a thing up in Hokkaido, and then a couple of nightclubs, one in, I think in the Nagoya area, one here in Tokyo. There was a spread through a bunch of nightclubs. So we have had exposure to this, and yet we're not seeing rows of ambulances heading to the morgue. I think it's 29 so far. And that's the problem. That's complacency now. The Japanese people are thinking, we wear masks and we wash our hands, so it's not like Italy, we keep clean. We're okay on this. And maybe they're right. I don't know. So far, the numbers here are really, really, really low. Partly, of course, because, as we all know, the government is not really testing anybody. But you can hide the testing thing, but you can't hide the morgue. There are not a stream of 1 million people dying here. And I don't know. Is it because Japan is a, quote, clean country, or is it just that we just haven't hit it yet, and any minute now we're in for it? I don't know the answer to that. But I certainly didn't want to be part of the problem myself. That's why we closed the shop, because I don't know. That's why I felt it important to close the shop here. Camera, so I keep moving off the camera. Anyway, we'll find out now over the next few weeks. You know, even if these deaths are being, quote, falsified, unquote, you know, people dying of pneumonia, being listed as pneumonia rather than the virus, even if that's happening, there's no way you can hide this. So the next few weeks will tell whether Japan is going to get off lightly or whether we are just behind the curve. No idea. We're about to find out, so no idea. Again, I'm carving on the outside of these lines. I'm trying to make this yellow area as fat as possible. Just add one more day or whatever to the length that this block will survive down the line. Okay, that might be it for our peaceful... Oh no, here's another piece up here. I have to cut this thing. Yeah, the Ukiyo Heroes thing, Jed is sending lots and lots and lots of mails and stuff out. There's lots of confusion out there, you know. Ukiyo Heroes is Jed Henry, that's not me, you know. When you get an email from that Ukiyo Heroes thing, that's Jed doing something, you know. We make the Ukiyo Heroes woodblock prints, but Ukiyo Heroes as a brand and as a place and as a website, that's Jed Henry, you know, of course. We have our own mailing. We're going to be doing a campaign thing starting probably this weekend related to the thing I just showed you. That will come from Mokuhankan. Our own stuff comes from Mokuhankan, but Jed's stuff comes from Ukiyo Heroes. And he has things like pins and jikle prints and t-shirts and stuff like that. Okay, this might be the end of our quiet time together this morning, because what's happened now, I've now done the outline cutting here. All the outlines of those yellow areas are now cut with that knife. The boats that need to be yellow, the sky, another boat, another boat. The next step now is to clear away a lot of the waste wood around the outside. And that is a noisy process. So we have a compressor, testing, on our mic, but it's hammer time. It's hammer time. Get my coffee out of the way before it goes flying. So, warning, it is now going to get noisy. If you're on headphones, take them off, turn the sound down. Whatever you're going to do with this, it is going to get very noisy over the next few minutes here now. We can try and make some adjustments with a compressor. I can maybe turn my audio down. I can perhaps, let's do this. If I take the microphone and move it away, take the microphone here and move it, let's move it over there. All right. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. The microphone is now moved away from me. Okay, it's going to get noisy. If I had a hammer, yeah, right. Yeah, Jacques, Jed is more interested in merchandising. The thing behind that, Jacques, but before you think too badly about him, Jed is a young guy living in America with 4 kids. He's got no job, so there's no health insurance. He has to pay all his expenses himself, including health insurance for 4 kids. Jed has to make a living, and he's independent, and so, yeah, he has to think about different ways to earn revenue. And especially this year, Jed is now going to do much more merchandising because the comic conventions are closed, and that's a huge part of Jed's revenue. He goes to all the conventions around the country, displays the prints and things, and pins and t-shirts and stuff, and people enjoy his art. I mean, the guy is making a living drawing pictures. That's an incredible accomplishment. So many people can't actually do that. So yeah, Jed actually has to try to merchandise stuff because he's, trying to stay alive. So I don't think badly about him for that at all. He's very, very successful at what he's doing. Anyway, here we go. Let's have a go at this. I've almost got the wrong piece off right to start. That's yellow. It's hard to see because this yellow is so thin. Make sure I'm okay here. The yellow is so faint that it's hard to see. It would be easy to lop something off by mistake. Also, we're going to double check no mistakes, right? Bolt number 1, bolt number 2, bolt number 3. Nothing hidden in here. Sky here, little tiny back zone of the sky. There's a little tiny dot here, part of the sky. I think I'm clear. There's no yellow here, no yellow here. Don't laugh at me. It's easy to take off areas that shouldn't be taken off. I think we are okay. I think we're okay. Let's do this. The long Maxwell's silver hammer. This is Dave's preference here. First step he does, he goes cross grain on every area. You can see what I'm doing. There's the area. We're going to cut the end of the grain here. is we're going to have it then. So with the cross taken away at the end of each of the areas, now I've got to try and figure out which way the grain runs on this block, so we're going to clear this way or the other way. Well, am I shaking the camera? Maybe it's earthquake time on the camera? I forgot about that. Get the camera away from the bench. And a couple of things. Talking to people about chisel hand, tired and whatever. A couple of things. I'm a lefty, of course, and maybe you've noticed, as I was doing this, I probably adjusted this as I was going, let's try and replay. What did I do? If I had a small area to do here, I moved my hand up on the handle. We don't need full, huge power. It's difficult to control if you're holding it way back. You get way more power that way. But when you're doing a little bit, you don't need power. Your hand slides up the handle. I must have done it like this. You have to replay. Like this. So we don't need much power, and I keep small strokes, and it's very accurate. As we make bigger, wider strokes, we'll see this now in a minute when I do these, and when I switch to the bigger chisel, your hand comes back, 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 back on the hammer, and you can get much more leverage. Not leverage, much more power, whatever. So again, keep it short for a minute till I figure out what the grain is. And for registration, we're going to keep this whole area. The registration is not a normal tiny kento. This is registration for beginners. So I'll clear that out later. For the moment, I'll keep away from that area. The registration mark will be here, and it'll be in a triangle. You can see, if I flip it over, you see what we have. The registration marks before. There are long registration marks in this area. So I don't clear anywhere near those areas. It's a different kind of, it's the same system that we use for our normal work, but for our normal work we keep the registration marks as small as possible. For beginners we need to make them a bit wide around the middle. Why cut cross grain and then with the grain? I don't know why. I'm simply sort of defining areas. You know, we have to, like there was the island. We have to leave the island. I mean, we have to leave the island behind. So by simply cleaning up the front end of it, cleaning up the back end of it, and figuring out which way to go around the outside of it, I don't know, there's no specific whatever. You could have started this way and then gone that way. I don't know. This is just sort of the habit I've fallen into and the way to do these things. Clear zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, one by one by one. This one's going to be more difficult because this grain now, as you've just seen, doing this, the grain is this way. So at this part of the block, up here I have no idea, but down here, this way is smooth, this way is against the grain. So cutting around here, I'm cutting a circle. My chisel moves away from the preserved area. So it's great. I'm in no danger at all of hitting the yellow here. And the wood wants to cut this way. So you can see how it's nice and smooth the surface. And yet as each stroke finishes, bang, the knife moves away from the cut area. Now, the wood grain still wants me to go this way, but now the cut area is here. So if I try to cut this curve this way now, here, I'm in trouble, because as I do each stroke, the knife is moving towards the area we want to preserve. So I'm going to have to turn the block around, but now this is against the grain. The wood wants to cut this way. So I'm pushing down really hard on the top of this thing. I'm pushing down to make it not split out. And it is splitting here, but I don't care because that's about to be removed in a few minutes. This is clean, that's dirty. It doesn't matter, it's going to go. Now we're in danger. If I keep doing this again, we may lose the tip of that boat. So same again, get a bit closer. Danger zone here. If I hammer that again, it's going to take out the tip of the boat. Will there be a show and tell today? Oh my God, will there be a show and tell today? No. I don't have anything to show you. Just work. The thing about the show and tell's not coming up for the next little while is I have to be careful about spending money now, because our revenue has crashed, suddenly hugely crashed. I have to be careful about spending money. I can no longer spend money on things for our own collection, or hey, that'll do well in the shop. I have to forget that we have no shop now for who knows how long. So I have to be careful about spending money. So it's possible that over the next couple of months the show and tell might be, well, what I can do, I guess, is we've got tons and tons of stuff in the collection that we already have. So maybe what I should do from now on, I didn't think about this, I'm sorry. What I should maybe do is before each stream, or at least once a week or maybe twice a week, I should, before I start the stream, hit my books upstairs, look in the collection and say, maybe people would like to see that. So we might do that. Instead of thinking of the show and tell us what package arrived in the mail this morning, let's have a look inside. Instead of doing that sort of stuff, maybe we should, I don't know, pull some back stuff, because the collection has lots and lots and lots of stuff. Having said that, actually, there is something I can show you. What time is it now? Let's do this. There is something, a box over there. It's already open, and this might be of interest to you. It's not a woodblock print at all, but it might be interesting. Let's look at that. It's almost time to pack up anyway. This is interesting stuff. When I saw this last week, I thought, oh my God, I have got to get this. Hang on a second. I wasn't ready. Go and let me fetch this. this is fun. What I should do, I should tape it up and pretend I haven't seen it yet. Let's do an unboxing. No, of course I've seen it. This came a few days ago. This is a Yahoo auction. This stuff came up on Yahoo auctions last week, and I nearly skipped by it. I've got a bunch of, what are they called? They call alerts. Like I have various alerts tied into Yahoo auctions so that when certain things come up, I see it automatically. I've got an alert for Okada Yoshio, or stuff like this, whatever. Anyway, I've got an alert for hake, burashi, brush. All different words that might be related to brush. Kintaro, a lot of alerts set. And last week, one of those alerts rang for me. I looked at the auction and my eyes went this big. I bid on it. Unfortunately, a bunch of other people also wanted this stuff, but I prevailed. Prevail just simply means opening your wallet wider than the other guy opened it up. Let's do this. What is this? It's not woodblock prints, and maybe when I first show you, you won't even know what it is. It's a box of 50 of the same thing. There are 50 items in here, all the same. I will pull one of them out. What is it? It is a bundle, 50 bundles of goat hair. Beautiful, beautiful, soft, goat hair plus wood chips. Sorry about that. Goat hair. Dave has been bitterly complaining over the past years because the mizubake, the brushes we use, the goat hair brushes we use to make our paper moist with, have degraded so much in quality. I've complained and complained and complained and complained about this for years. All of a sudden, here we go. One of these things has easily enough goat hair to make a beautiful mizubake, a water brush. There's only one slight problem. I don't know how to do those. But we have some time. And Aoyama-san and I, we have already started. We've already started. Don't get excited. This is not something we are not going to be making brushes for sale or anything like that. At the moment, the idea is to see if we can make some tools for ourselves that will be useful for our own craftsmen. I was kind of surprised that it went so high as it did. I had to pay a few $100s for this because other people wanted this. Like, who else wants to buy goat hair? Who in their right mind wants 50 bundles of goat hair? A bunch of people. But anyway, we got it. And it's not just like there's one bundle. There's enough here to do some experimentation. We're going to try making a brush and fail and try, and it won't be as good as the other ones. And then maybe by the third or fourth brush, our brushes might be kind of nice. And we have enough goat hair now. I want you to take care of it. I guess usually just keep it dry, keep it from getting damp. We should be okay, I think. How long is the goat hair going to last? I don't know. Forever and ever, maybe. Who knows? Doesn't smell anything. It doesn't smell. It smells totally neutral. There's nothing I can detect with my nose. It's just, I guess it's, the goat hair has been clipped and cleaned and washed and bundled, and I can't imagine how they bundle this up. What do they do? People sit there putting tails one by one. I have no idea where it's from. There's nothing. It could be from China, Japan, Mongolia. These are rare goats that have all been extincted. I don't know. I think it's just goats. And goats are food all over the world, so I don't think we're looking at some rare species here. I don't really know. Anyway, there it is. We're going to give this a try. So somewhere down the line, and of course, when we start doing this, and this will not be tomorrow, when we start doing this, we'll get the video camera out. We'll have a go at this. $50 bundles of goat hair. It's goats all the way down. when I bought it, as part of buying it, you have an exchange of emails, of course, back and forth with the people who are selling. And the auction system here, it's extremely protective of privacy. You never get a chance to know who the people are. And in fact, even when you get the package, it's marked privacy policy from Amazon. So the people give it to the delivery service. They know who gave it to them. And then they put privacy sticker on it, and the person receiving it doesn't know who sent it. I myself, I'm a bit hostile to that idea. They send me a bomb and nobody knows who sent it. I mean, what? This idea about protecting privacy, I think it's gone a bit strange, but whatever. Anyway, nothing to do with me. So I have no idea who this person is. 青山さん、ごめん。今、スクリーンの最後のスクリーン。
そうなんですね。外の方。
今日カメラが逆向きです。太陽の明かりがちょうどこの季節にカメラを東の方に向くと、
綺麗に見える。
綺麗に見えないです。
見えない。
いや、太陽の明かりが直接レンズに入ります。
そうですか。
だから雨の日はこっちの方、晴れの日は左の方、ドンキの方。ちょっとつまらない。あんまり人見えないです。
人通りが少なくなりましたよね。お客さん少なくなったからね、観光客の方がね。
そう、でもこの時間であまり変わらないですね。
そうですか。
まあ、朝早いですね。でもいや、もちろん少なくなったな。そう。Thank you. Okay. So the hairs look short for making mizubaki. These are okay. To make these kind of brushes, we don't need hairs this long. We need hairs double or triple that length. And the hairs, you put them in bundles, you tie it in the middle. It's hard to describe. You tie it in the middle and you pull it back, and you pull them in through the hole. So these hairs are actually, what you're seeing is the front end and back end of single hairs, which go in and out, and it's that hook and that loop that holds them in. But for a mizubaki, they made a different way. You lay out a form, and I've taken them apart before here, of course. You lay out a form, and this roll will just roll along there, and the hairs will be put into a little jig, butt end all together. Then you put your form down and sew them together. So these actually look just right for us. They're 5.5 centimeters long, and I believe they are just okay. They're a little bit short for making a dosa brush. Dosa brush we would like 6 or 6.5. But this also looks like the very light kind of goat hair. So I think, unless I'm going to find wrong when I start making it, this looks just about exactly right for what we need for mizubaki. I would like some a little bit longer and a bit rougher for dosa, for doing the sizing. But shogunai, we do what we got. So I think they're okay. Okay, it's the end of it here. I guess it's no point in going back to my banging. It's 9:26 now. I was really hoping Cameron would drop in and say hello. I'm going to write him an email and say, Cameron, where are you? Please drop in and say hello next time. This is Thursday. The next stream will be 2 days from now, Saturday morning. I will be maybe still, no, this has to be finished before then, so I probably won't be working on here. I will be working on one of the grade blocks for the cats. Or another project that is suddenly blindsiding me. The Patreon campaign needs another pair of Patreon chibis, and I need them in April, and it's now March already. So the octopus is going to have to wait just a little bit longer while I make a pair of Patreon chibis. I wrote to John Amos the other day, and he said yes. He's already sent me a couple of sample sketches, and what I should do, I should video. Anyway, we'll see. So Saturday's work might be Patreon chibi filming. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you Saturday morning. Bye-bye. I'll do the same thing. I'll leave the street camera on for a few minutes while I clean up here and get stuff out of town. So I'll see you later on Saturday, and you can watch the street for a minute, those who are inclined to do so. I'll shut it down in 4 or 5 minutes from now. And maybe, now that the sun is gone, I might point it the other way just for a few minutes. See you on Saturday, guys. Thank you very much. I am going to get a cup of coffee. Okay, I gotta get cleaned up, so we'll shut this down now. Thanks very much. Okay, guys, see you on Saturday morning. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks then. See you on Saturday. So long.